Taking Flight, Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
So why was this the right opportunity for you? What about this situation made you think this is perfect?
I mean, for me, I've always admired and valued the Cardinal way. And when this opportunity came across, I called Albert Pujols, who's one of the big Cardinals, right? And then Skip Schumacher, who obviously I coached with, and told them to put in a good word for me. And the interview process started, and I was very, very happy that I was able to acquire this position, but it was just kind of like number one on my list, just because obviously playing against the Cardinals when I played, watching the organization when I was in player development with the Rangers or with Seattle, once again, just always admired it, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
A lot of young guys to work with in camp and in this organization. Jordan Walker is one of them. He already talked about changes you guys have talked about, specifically with his hands at winter warm-up. Just what's it like working with him and unlocking that potential that we all see is there?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to work with a highly skilled athlete, right? And then just in his case, for example, right, like everyone feels different things, and sometimes they'll over-recruit or make adjustments that may not possibly been the correct ones, and by just kind of applying, just a simple strategy of more relaxing and not being so tense prior to swinging, kind of took him back in time to more of like his AA feels. And like when that usually occurs, there's something that hits, in a hitter's mind, because they're gonna feel more than anything. So being able to have that strike, like, oh man, I remember when I did this, is just an easier way to try to get them in better positions to let their skill set play.
Just your excitement level for there are so many young position players that we've seen the talent, we've seen how high they go in the draft. With the philosophy around the club this year and going forward in organization, just getting in with all of these guys has to be a really exciting opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I started day one, taking visits, talking with guys, FaceTiming guys throughout the off season. But it's kind of like the work you need to put in prior to getting here. So when you get here, you can kind of hit the ground running, and not like those relationships have been developed. I love working with youth and strength and speed. And then, obviously we're going to discuss the experience and talk about situations and coach that up to them. But it's a really good opportunity for myself, Cardinals fans, this organization, to have this group with us and try to increase their value.
Last thing, as a hitting coach, how difficult is it to deal with all the different things guys hear? Because they've been taught something their whole lives. Maybe they have somebody else in the off season. Some guys, this is their third hitting coach in the last couple of years. How do you kind of put all of that together to get the best product? Because it's coming from a lot of different directions.
Yeah, I mean, every hitting coach knows what they signed up for, right? And in today's game, you're going to deal with a lot of outside entities. For me, like, you can't view it as an enemy, you have to view them as a friend, because they're going to listen to them. But the biggest thing that I like to apply is I want them to learn about themselves, because sometimes they're doing things that just their body doesn't prefer. So we kind of teach them about like who they are, and then we also teach them about who they are as a hitter and how other teams are going to look at them. Because for me, like, knowing your own weaknesses allows you to attack your enemies, rather than if you don't know why you're getting a curveball 0-0, or you don't know why you're getting this particular pitch, then we're not offering you the information that you need or is required to be a good baseball player. So we kind of just all encompass it and more teach them about themselves, and kind of out of that you get these relationships and you hear things, and you get to talk about things that just make more sense, and you can apply those, because we all know this, right? It's like, it's not really what you say, but it's like what they hear.
Yeah.
And if you can do it more visually, it's much easier. So by applying kind of like that process, for me, like, it just kind of allows me to be more of myself, and the other stuff kind of takes care of itself, because they're also learning about themselves at the same time.